Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 13 of albums that are 40 years old in 2023. That's right, we're looking back on the great year of 1983. We're picking out 28 albums that are celebrating their 40th birthdays or 40th anniversaries here in 2023. 28 days in February. Trying to pick out our 28 favorites that came out in 1983. Another hard exercise here, trying to find the 28 favorites, but pretty happy with my list. So this is day 13. We're going to march our way all the way up to 28, and then at the final day of the month, I will give you a bonus honorable mentions episode, as I generally do, and then of course we'll move into 1993, and we'll celebrate those albums that are going to be 30 years old this year. So let's move on to this one, which was recorded in late 1982, released, it came out a few months later independently, right? So technically, if you want to get really technical, this one was released in 1982, but it wasn't released, to everybody until August of 1983 on EMI America. Produced by the band, recorded in Triad Studios in Redmond, Washington. The debut release, it's an EP, one of the rare times you'll see me do an EP on any of these type of shows. Queensryche. I can remember the first time I heard that voice. One of my buddies in high school, went over to his house after school. He was telling me about this thing he picked up in the record store over the weekend. He's like, wait till you hear this thing. Man, this band is so hot, and this guy can sing up a storm. I heard the voice, and he's like, wait till you hear it. So we went over to his house after school one day. He dropped the needle on this EP, and I heard that voice of Jeff Tate, and I was like, who in the world is this? And that was that, right? Queen of the Reich, of course. And there's only 4 songs on the original EP. Queen of the Reich, Knight Rider, Blinded, and of course, The Lady Wore Black. And as good as Knight Rider and Blinded are, it's the 2 bookends of the EP, right? Queen of the Reich and The Lady Wore Black, that are the songs that I think really resonated with most of us back then, and still to this day are among, the top songs from the band for early on. They came back, about a year later, and released The Warning, which was their debut full length, and that's, a story for another day. We'll probably talk about that next year at this time, right? This hit us like a hammer, and the world of metal was never the same again, right? But this was different kind of metal. This was precision heavy metal, very melodic with those superhuman vocals, interesting lyrics, right? Thinking man's metal. Pretty soon many of us were calling Queensryche progressive metal, right? Here are the guys in the band. That was the back of the EP cover. Looked a little different way back then, right? But yeah, this was something new. This was something different, and I think this kind of took like the Iron Maiden, the Rush sound, like to like different levels of intensity. And man, that voice. there was nothing. We had Halford, we had Dickinson, right, and Dio, and many others. But when Jeff Tate burst on the scene, I think we were all like, wow, this guy is something different. He's from like another planet. And the dueling lead guitars and the heavy riffs and the kind of like sci-fi-ish lyrics and things like that. Queensryche were something very, very special when they first came out. Very, very different, and I think that's why they appealed to so many of us. So, and of course, remember this, Jeff Tate on vocals, Michael Wilton on guitar, Chris DeGarmo on guitar, Eddie Jackson on bass, and Scott Rockenfield on drums. And as far as the charts, this made it up to 81 peak position on the Billboard charts, but it did certify gold. All right, so that's kind of interesting when you think about it. An album that really never made it high up on the charts here in the States, but did sell 500,000 copies, over time. So pretty amazing feat for a 4-song EP, right? And then, of course, if you get the later CD reissues, you get all sorts of other stuff on here, live things and whatnot. So they have turned, nowadays, when you go and buy the Queensryche EP, you get a full-fledged album there because you got all sorts of other fun stuff, right? Early versions of things that wound up on the next album, and a lot of live stuff, actually. So yeah, pretty cool. The reissue. It got lots of content on there. So anyway, there you have it. Queensryche, the EP from 1983, is my pick for day 13. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Let us know what you think of this down in the comments below. I see many of you have already picked it this month, so that's very cool. If you haven't heard it, I'd be quite surprised if you watch this channel and you've never heard this, but it's only 4 songs. Go out and check it out. Let us know what you think, and also list your pick for today. And we'll see you tonight on the Hudson Valley Squares, and tomorrow morning for another album that is 40 years old in 2023. Till then, please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. And also down below, we've got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations as well as our merch page. So we'll see you all tonight on the Hudson Valley Squares and tomorrow morning here at 9 a.m. Once again, I'm Pete Pardo. Take care. Bye-bye.